Look what I got today, guys. I got a 2023 Ram and Toyota. This is the 1500 Limited. This is the Tundra Capstone. Now, this might seem like an unfair advantage because that Tundra has a full hybrid system, but the Ram does have a mild hybrid system, so hey, we'll see how this all shakes out. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's drive the Tundra first. Alrighty, so we're driving the Tundra as I said first. I already set the trip or the odometer reader and then the display inside the screen. They don't have it all in one spot, which is a negative. I mean, there might be some way to do it, but I don't see it in here right now. But, oh man, this is so comfortable. This is a pretty big area for me. I feel as though on the HD side of the house for Ram trucks, it's tighter, but this truck I feel really comfortable, and these seats are pretty big as well. And I have the seat pretty much all the way down. And this truck is riding on some 22s, Bridgestone tires, and at low speeds, they're pretty comfortable. This truck does not have air suspension. That's a negative for a Toyota. On the Capstone, I almost feel like that should be standard. But yeah, let's go ahead and set up for the 0 to 60. I have some bad news. I left all my stuff at the house. So you're just gonna have to use your imagination in this video. And by the way, I don't feel like I've gotten any like huge increase in my content using that stuff. So if you want me to continue to use a timer, things like that, I need to know in the comment section, because it's a lot of work to have to set all this stuff up, guys. So yeah, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and check out the performance. If you didn't watch my last video, this Tundra is packing a big punch. 437 horsepower, 583 pound-feet of torque, 10-speed transmission, 331 rear axle, and this truck is sporting some 22s. So I am interested to see how this truck does performance-wise. Let's go ahead and check it out. All right, here we go. I felt like having the rain was a good variable for this truck because there's so much power coming out of this, you know, powertrain. But I would say that 0 to 60, whatever it was, it was pretty good. It's raining outside. I wish they had a 4-wheel drive auto, which would have helped it probably get off the line a little bit better. But for the most part, I mean, this truck is really comfortable. I mean, you have heated and ventilated seats. The Capstone is the Mac Daddy. If you didn't watch my last video, this truck is used, and someone traded in with only 40 miles on it. So I do like how it handles too. When I was driving away from the dealership, I noticed that this truck has really nice overall stability, like around town. Like, it doesn't feel sloppy. The steering is nice and tight. There is a eco mode. Let's go ahead and put this truck in eco mode, because I think it's only fair because it's available. Oh yeah. And these seats, man, they are, oof. This is my kind of truck. Can't wait to drive the Ram after this one. But we should be to the midpoint here in a second, and then I'll show you guys where we are for fuel economy. I'm running at about 63 miles an hour. And you guys can pretty much see the RPMs there. We're pretty low. I can't really look down because it's raining, but you guys can kind of get an idea. But yeah, you can't really hear the powertrain. The battery was kind of low when I started this test, but now it's starting to charge up here. I am allowing it to run in eco mode every once in a while too, so that battery should get nice and charged up. But where this truck really shines at is not on the highway. It shines in the city because you can run on full electric for up to like what, 15 or 25 miles an hour. So that's gonna really help you at the pump. Here's a look at the numbers for the Tundra. You have a gross axle rating up front at 4,080 pounds. The rear is the exact same. But you guys see the gross vehicle weight rating? 7,670 pounds. And then here's the payload, 1330 minus 61 pounds, which gives you 1,269 pounds of payload capacity. So this truck is heavy. like really heavy. We just made it to the midpoint here. Let's go ahead and check out the fuel economy. Okay, so we're at 13.5. The good news for the Tundra is, well, we don't have to stop at the light here, so we can go right through it. So this is going to give it a slight advantage, as if it needs any more advantages, because this truck already has a full hybrid system. So we'll see how it does. So we're at 13.7. I'm giving it about 20 to 25% throttle here. And I'm going to be the first to say it. I hate the fake engine sounds. I hate it. Just put a V8 in the truck and stop doing what the government tells you to do, manufacturers. Now, my favorite thing about the Toyota trucks is this. I didn't show this in the last video I did, but oh, I love that. I love that. One of my favorite things. And then this truck has a panoramic sunroof. You can't beat a Toyota Tundra. I know it took them a long time to redesign this truck, but you just can't beat the ergonomics. I mean, I know that a lot of people say these are the most reliable pickups, but we have to wait and see how these engines last, because in the past, when they redesigned the truck back in 2007 and introduced the 5.7, those trucks have gone 1,000,000 miles, and there's a few examples of those out there in the wild. But we should be back here in the next 7 to 8 minutes. We've only driven about 8.7 miles. We have 15 MPG. The interior is pretty quiet. I don't have my decibel reader either, guys, so I apologize. Terrible, guys, terrible. I have to do better. But hey, when you're at a stop, the engine's completely off. I'm gonna let it go. It's on full electric right now. Oh, well, that was easy. It just kind of kicked on pretty quickly. The battery's almost charged too. Oh well. Let's see where we're off at. We just made it back, and here's where we are. 16.7 MPG, 13.2 miles driven. So let's go ahead and jump in the Ram and let's see how it does. Ah, man. So I will admit, the Tundra is a better truck in its own way, but it is really hard to beat a Ram. I'm just gonna be honest with you, especially if it's a limited like this. This interior just feels more sophisticated. Toyota just seems more fun luxury. This is more sophisticated luxury, like the fit and finish in this interior. The seats are a little bit stiffer compared to that Toyota. I definitely noticed that going from that truck to this one. But they're not so stiff to where they're uncomfortable for some people. But I think if you like a softer mattress at the house, you'll probably like the Toyota Tundra seats better. But let's go ahead and set up. We're gonna go ahead and talk about this engine, this mild hybrid system, and then we're gonna do the 0 to 60. Road's still wet, it's not raining anymore, but it should be a good fair test for the acceleration. Now, as I mentioned, this Ram has a mild hybrid system. So that right there is the generator. And it does have a small battery pack as well. So this truck does have supplemental power. So this truck's gonna have 395 horsepower, 410 pound-feet of torque, and 130 pound-feet of torque of supplemental power from the mild hybrid system. 8-speed transmission. Let's see how it performs. All right, here we go. Wow. So this truck does have a 392, by the way. Right out of the gate, I feel like the rear end is a little bit more livelier on this truck, despite it being down on horsepower and torque. But this truck does have full drive auto, and I didn't use it. Darn! Oh well, it is what it is. But yeah, I can definitely tell the difference between these two trucks, guys. Like it's night and day different. I feel like this truck is just more tighter. There is no sunroof, by the way, which comes standard on that capstone. And at 80 grand, nearly $80,000, this truck, how much does this truck cost? Yeah, it's like $796. So yeah, this truck's 80 grand. I think a sunroof should come standard, but where the Ram 1500 wins is the comfort. You know why? Air suspension for the win. And it does lower for like more aerodynamics. It's called aero mode, and it does raise too. So if you want to go off-road, well, you have that flexibility. I think I do like the mirrors better on the Tundra, by the way. I mean, these are the tow mirrors. These aren't the greatest, especially on the 1500 because you can't adjust them. But let's go ahead and switch camera views and talk about the RPM. So you're gonna run a little bit higher because of that 392 out back, but you're gonna be able to tow better. So right around 60, we're just under, it looks like 1900 RPMs. We might be at about 1800 RPMs. And if I were to jump up to about 65, yeah, we're like right at 1900 right there. But yeah, you do run it at a high RPM with that 392. And if I could be completely honest with you, I would skip the 392 on the 1500. You're not going to be able to max tow with this truck because it doesn't have enough payload. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and take a look at it. Now here are the numbers on the door. You guys can pretty much see gross vehicle weight ratings right there, axles. Out front, 3,900 pounds. The rear is 4,100 pounds. 1,312 pounds of payload capacity. Here we are. So we are at the midpoint, and I was not ready. So here we go. 15. Whoa, whoa. I hope you guys can see that eco mode, right? It just went away. Oh, look at that. The Ram is just flexing. It must know that we're comparing itself to a Tundra. Light just turned green, by the way. But yeah, that eco mode, that's basically the MDS, which is multi-displacement system. That allows this 8-cylinder to become a 4-cylinder. Now, I don't normally use that system. My wife has a Wagoneer, and I normally turn it off when I drive it. But I don't see a huge difference between using it and not, because I have allowed it to stay on, and I don't really see that it makes a huge difference. But I didn't disable it, and the only way you can really disable it is if you lock in 8th gear or turn it in tow haul mode. But yeah, we're at 14.9. I want to say we're like at 13 something with the Tundra. But we just accelerated, and we have to stop one more time, and then we have to drive through the city, and then we'll see where it all ends off at. Alright, so let's go ahead and do the flex for the Ram. Yay! I don't know why no one has used that. I know some people said that Toyota has patented that rear window, but that patent is expired by now, so everyone could be using it. But like I said, the Ram has its strengths too, and I think it's just the overall truck. Like, this back seat is a lot bigger. I can tell just by looking back here, flat floor surface. And I just like the way the truck drives. I like the interior better. I think it's just better overall. And the reason why I say that is because Toyota had an opportunity to beat Ram. It took them, what, like 15 years to redesign the Tundra, and this truck was already out. Because I think this is the one that we just drove is the 3rd generation, I believe, and then the 2nd generation was still out when this truck got redesigned in 2019. So with that being said, they just didn't do enough, I felt like, to really bring it. The capstone is nice, but the Ram is nicer. We should be back here in a little bit, and we'll kind of get an idea of where we are for fuel economy. 16.3, 9.6 miles driven so far. Let's see how we end off. Just pulled back in. Let's see where we ended off at. So 17.3, 13.3 miles driven. Now, one thing I want you guys to understand is this. Toyota has never been known for fuel efficiency on their pickup trucks and SUVs. And you can clearly see that right here. Now, I will say, if I were to drive these trucks back to back in the city, the Hemi would suffer. Even with the MDS, that system only kicks on when you're coasting or on the highway at a constant speed. And the hybrid system does a lot better because you are, hitting the brakes more in the city, so you're recharging that battery. When you're going from 0, you can be on full electric mode too. But I will say, this truck is so heavy that I feel as though I didn't do a good job of feathering the pedal to keep it in that battery in fully electric mode basically. I hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure your bell notifications are on. See you soon.